Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Jarek Brian Show. My name is Jarek, and guys, we have a legend on the show today. The one, the only, Brandalf. Brandalf, buddy, how are you doing?
Doing great, Jarek. Thanks for having me, man.
Oh no, man! No, thank you for coming on, Brandalf. And it's great to have you on. You guys are doing so much with the Chads, the clones. You have your live streaming going and all those things. But before we get into all that, give us your story on how you got here into Web3.
Oh man, I'll tell you. I've been kind of cruising around since 2020, and leading the average life of adventure on the road. And we had a lot of spare time that year. And my wife, who is an artist and a photographer, found NFT technology. And so we started, lurking on Twitter and trying to research some stuff. And it was, I think, fall of 2021. I really got into, trying to make some plays and figure out really how to do it. And I ended up getting involved on Solana because Ethereum gas at that point was just insane. It was ridiculous. Oh, yeah. And, I think you had to pay $100 just to list something on OpenSea. It was nuts. I didn't have that kind of money. I was looking to turn pennies into paychecks. You know what I mean? So Solana was good for that, in theory. But I'm a community enthusiast. I like to hang out. I like to support the cause and vibe out with the crew. And so I got too involved in my first project, and they failed and kind of slow rugged. And by the time they rugged, I was the community manager, and then it was like, come on, guys, what? You're just gonna give up? I know your art sucked, but you built some cool stuff, and we're all here. Let's do something. And they gave up. It didn't line their bags with riches and millions of dollars like other mints back then. So I moved on, tried to get some more allow list. Got into a new community early. Did the same thing. Got too involved, and then they ghosted. And I did that a couple of times until FTX. And after that, it was just pure chaos on Solana. And obviously the price just crashed. And so I got into some strategic groups at that time. So I entered the Trust DAO group with Dr. Solana. And started working with the guys at Bell Studios, Sol Jakey and Ryder. That is actually what brought me to Polygon, because Sidelv needed some help in their community management pre-mint. And so I joined there. And next thing I knew, my friends from Trust DAO were bringing Drill Club to Polygon, and I hopped right on that train. It was very exciting time of year, last March, April, right around then. And just really never looked back, man. I've been getting involved with everybody I can and seeing where I can help people connect to the resources they need, and really, not get myself into the same pattern of over involvement with projects that don't have the gas to go the distance.
Yeah, no, that must be hard. And I've always kind of wanted to ask you, I don't know if basically you were wanting to or anything like that, but you kind of been not want to say spokespersons, right? But kind of like how the Matic Man and other people too as well, like Van, other people are just kind of been I wouldn't say, I guess you could say mascots, right? In a sense that it must be hard to carrying kind of that title, right? Because you can't really be too involved, right? You have to watch yourself on saying certain things, right? Or backing certain projects, right? Has that been kind of tough for you, or is that a lot of pressure on you?
It can be. I felt a lot of internal pressure to draw attention to certain bad actors in the space that I had early observations on. But at the same time, I felt like that's not what I was given a voice for specifically. And I was still new to the Polygon ecosystem. And, building bridges and not burning them down was more of what I was setting out to do. So I think, there are certain things that I will not engage on. There's a lot of my personal opinions and takes that I just don't make because at the end of the day, I don't want to be a know-it-all. I don't want that to be part of my experiences. Me telling people what's what and what works and what doesn't. I prefer to be a helper. And so I always see where I can help and, sort of within the constraints of only say good things, which is pretty basic. But, I think there's enough people saying what's wrong, that's well in hand. And I don't need to do it too.
Yeah, no, I just was... better you for it though, because like I don't know if I could handle having to like bite my tongue on certain things, right? Or some things looks wrong and you want to say it, but you're like, oh god, man, I can't. I'm gonna let this kind of play out, right? And just it must be really, really tough. But getting kind of like back to like the Chads and the clones, right? Can you kind of people like new kind of watching this, like what exactly like is the Chads?
Okay, yeah. So when I came to Polygon, my year and a half on Solana was just hot garbage and just bad overall. And I realized that I needed to connect with more like-minded people as a priority so that I had a base community as a foundation to participate in that wasn't going to be anonymous founders who I would get too involved with supporting who would eventually fail or give up on purpose and take the money. And so I just started collecting Polygon Chads in a group chat on Twitter because that's what we used to call it back then. And, it quickly turned into largely project founders in this chat. People that worked at Polygon, people that worked at One Planet and Magic Eden and Do, and really just kind of, assembling the Avengers, I guess. It was like everybody was represented. We found all the projects from the year or two before, the real OGs who were still cooking, and we got them in there. And I think finding common ground with all of these different people was a really great experience within that chat. And someone early on had named it Poly Chads. I think I called it Polygon Chads when I first started that chat, and then somebody coined the term, and we had some fun with that. But people were starting to feel left out, and I don't want to give anybody that vibe. I don't want to be, gatekeeping or at least adjacent to that conversation. So we started a Discord, and that's how I met Family. Because he was one of the, randos that was in that chat early on. And, we got to talking. He knew how to build a Discord, and, one thing led to another. And we're working together as partners, which was just, the odds of meeting somebody that you really agree with on the level that he and I see eye to eye is just nuts. So super lucky happenstance, right? To have been there at that moment, to create that chat, to have the people in it who joined, and then, to have such a dynamic partner to build with come out of that as well. And so we put together ecosystem resources, because the hardest thing I found in my prior year and a half in NFTs was finding real good opportunities and being able to get access to those, to get on the allow list, to get the OG, to, you can jump in their server, you can be there all day for 10 days and
Mhm.
still end up with nobody knowing who you are, who is this guy, is this a bot? Um, and so we started helping people get pre-sale and allow list spots. We were doing OG collabs and really just trying to make sure people knew, when to submit their wallets for what, and when the mint was, and how much they were going to need to get involved. In particular, also focusing on the free opportunities. So Drill Club was one of our early success stories. We got a lot of people involved in that free mint, and these are the kinds of things that help the global community really have a chance. Particularly thinking about the difference in currency and how far that can get you in different places around the world. Somebody get free mint and selling it for 100 Matic is huge. Depending on where you are in the world. So we were pretty resource focused. And then we started making proposals to Polygon. We started getting into Sandeep, Sanket, Greg DMs, and hey, this is what we're trying to do. These are the things that are missing, in the ecosystem that we want to provide. And they, at that point in time, they didn't have grants, right? So they were like, "Look, this is great. This is awesome. We love you guys. We don't have money to just give you, but we will participate in your community initiatives." And so we started our Hotbox AMA. We would feature one project every week in the Discord. Greg from Polygon Labs would show up. Johnny from Magic Eden would come through. We had some other reps from other launch pads and marketplaces that had the opportunity to join that panel and really just kind of drop the ball. But it was a really great experience to have these institutions represented in that kind of AMA format, where up and coming pre-launch projects could come in and make a visual presentation, field questions from, the head of BD at Polygon NFTs, and Johnny and Big Nil, not to mention myself and family. And we saw that program get Danketsu on Magic Eden Launchpad. They were going to launch somewhere else, and after that AMA, they were sold. Magic Eden reached out, and they had a pretty great mint. But these things change, and so we wanted to make that experience available to a wider audience. And I think that's what we're attempting to create in the new Pulse live stream that's happening every Wednesday. To stream on YouTube and stream publicly on X, and not have it in a Discord server that has a waiting room, and that can be clunky. We want a more frictionless experience for people, but we wanted to keep providing these community resources and opportunity for people to learn and grow new skills in marketing and business development, and communication about partnerships. And so we realized we would need to launch an NFT. And so we started making those plans. Magic Eden announced their creator fund. So of course we applied, and we won. We got the fund. So we set about just doing the highest level of all the ideas that we had on paper that we had been pitching. And so through this program, we're featuring 5 new artists, four new artists and 1 newer studio. And to be able to feature these people and use the NFT collection to bring them attention and commissions and for future work, and attention to their other work and things of that nature, and to provide them with royalties forever on the art that they've made. But we really wanted this to be a program that was going to give people lasting value. And so, we kind of came up with this before the Creator Fund or the Polygon grants were a thing. we decided to use our funds to fund the sub communities so that, regular people can have access to getting their ideas funded without having to create all the art and launch a hyped NFT sellout. Because that's what it took to get funding out here. Was you had to sell out a project and all the things that come with that. And then, once you sold out, what are you doing with that? You're making a staking and raffle platform. It was really, sort of unevolved. We hit kind of a copy paste meta in 2023. And we saw a lot of really motivated people come out to launch projects that just never really went anywhere. And so, looking to fill that gap in the spirit of decentralization. And this worked out really well to the rebrand as well, because we did rebrand Poly Chads as clones. And so, man, I'm I'm a little here, a little there. I'm timeline jumping a little bit, but essentially we identified 21 Polygon leaders and active enthusiasts who have been with us this whole last year supporting the work that we're doing. And we're featuring them in their projects as a good example of how to do it in the ecosystem. And then in the lore, they've come from a destroyed world in another dimension. And there's only 21 of them. So in order to get 5,000 for an NFT collection, they have to clone themselves. And so there's going to be 5 batches of these clones. And each of those clone batches is drawn in the style of a different artist. So if you've seen our banner on our Twitter, it has the sort of base model for each of those 5 clone batches, one from each artist. And they're going to be, they're obviously the same like species of character, just interpreted differently. And it's been a lot of fun. We're going through the trait development right now with these guys. And those 5 groups will delineate the funded subgroups. And we're calling them subgroups or sub-communities because sub-DAO means something very specific that we're not actually doing. And, we want it to be DAO-like. We want there to be exercises in leadership and governance and things of that nature. But legally, what we're running is a nonprofit that provides people with a leadership accelerator program to come in and, present their ideas to the community, get them to support with their sentiment and some light voting, and get to work building through our built networks. We already have the contacts at business development, Magic Eden, and business development, Polygon, and all of these things. And we want to introduce people to those networks to join the calls with us and kind of see how it's done behind the scenes. I think we see a lot of project founders not really knowing where to go or who to talk to or what to say once they're in the call with them. And those are some of the things that we're looking to address, while at the same time, this is about people's ideas for the advancement of culture and technology. And we've seen a lot of people have those ideas and just not have the context and format to realize them and make them real. And so I think we're going to end up with some exciting new developments. If it's, DeFi related or infrastructure related, it could be game, some kind of game. There's really not a lot of limitations to the funded groups. We're just going to say no new NFT collections, right? We did that part. And no staking or raffle platforms. So we've already got their staking, raffles, points, and all of that ironed out in our partnership with ONFT, where each sub community will have their own staking dashboard. where they can introduce the type of points and things that they need for those operations there in a way that fits those sub communities. So really, long and short of it is we're just a bunch of chads that we're trying to do more in the ecosystem, and now we're going through the work to launch a project so we can give other people the money and see what they can do.
Yeah, no, like definitely. And that was like I said, that was a very good explanation on exactly the chads and the clones. And everybody saw like, the clone artwork is like really good too as well. But going back to the Magic Eden fund, right? Like, what was the feeling of you guys of actually like obtaining that fund, right? And just kind of walk through like the feeling of being acknowledged. Everybody likes to be acknowledged for the good work they do in the ecosystem, though. But explain to me how that felt.
Oh, absolutely, man. It felt great. I think a little context is that I was announced as an advisor to that program, which brought a little bit of an extra side story to it. So there was a handful of, I guess, active and visible KOLs, if you will, that they tapped in to come in and help the awardees with their go-to-market strategy. And, we knew we had a good proposal. We had pitched it to Magic Eden before, and we had actually made Johnny sign an NDA, and he thought that was pretty funny. But we knew somebody else could front run us with this plan way faster than we could do it. And, we're not devs. We don't code shit. We don't.
Yeah.
I'm not an artist. We're
same.
We're just the orchestrators, right? We're drawing the connections and building the networks and running things in that regard. But to win the first round was very exciting. Like you say, validating. We were still interlopers on Polygon at that point. We were still the new guys, and there were people who'd been here for years, and certainly a lot of people who had applied for the creator fund. But it felt like we were the ones that really captured people's excitement from that announcement, because there was a whole bunch of FUD, right?
Oh, yeah.
There was a bunch of FUD because I was an advisor, David 10X was an advisor, Matic Man was an advisor, and we're connected to projects that were awardees. But we didn't have any influence on that. I didn't call up Johnny and say, "Hey man, I need you to pick the Chads to win this." It's like, let me know who I'm advising and when, and put me in, and that was that. So that gave us a lot of confidence. It gave us a little bit of runway to pay the artists. We have 5 people living in different countries around the whole world, and being able to pay them up front for work and with some milestones, instead of just promising a percentage of the mint and free mints and that kind of thing, which I think has been pretty common. But we were able to provide some value and resources to the artists and give them that good experience in Web3. Here they are. We tried out probably 15 different artists and picked the 5 that made the best characters. And, a lot of them were good, but these 5 were really the best. And, I think that's a win for them, as an artist, to be brought on to do part of a collection. So we're in mid swing on that, and certainly the extra exposure through the grant it's not a grant. I'm stumbling now. Through the Magic Eden Creator Fund, we were able to pick up some extra visibility and have that, I guess, brand recognition from some of the Magic Eden support posts and things of that nature. And that's something that we're looking forward to. So we're under contract to launch on Magic Eden, and we're really excited for it. I think there are ways to prepare for this properly to avoid any of the issues that people have had on the Launchpad in the past. And, I think that's really the common theme with us, is that things don't always work out, but we have a solid 3 years of data for what works and what doesn't work, what's been done already and what hasn't been done. And, anybody who's been around can kind of see that writing on the wall to help them navigate their experience here. So, we see that. We want to bring something new, something unique, not just to sell out a project and make, 500 grand for our pockets and then whatever afterwards. We really want to see this as an annual program to give people access to funding and resources and to be able to just participate in a better way out here. So we're going to be doing this as an annual program. And at the end of the year, take a look at the small businesses that have come through these sub-communities and see where they can go from there. Cut some of them loose, consolidate the rest of them, and, launch the next season.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I can't wait for that, right? And speaking of clones, right? Can you kind of talk, one, when is it actually going to happen? When do you think it might kind of like launch, right? And then two, you had I want to say it was 21 some odd, maybe it was more, maybe a little bit less than that, but you had people from the ecosystem, right? I think those like 101s, correct? If you're kind of going to go more into that too as well, because I thought that was really, really neat that you guys did that. I want to say, of course, it was you, but there was Shan and other people too as well, and I thought that was really cool. So if you could elaborate more on that too as well, that'd be great.
Sure. And this is included in the pinned post on at clones_ECB1, and that stands for Experimental Clone Batch 1. So yeah, this was our idea to feature people in the community that have been building with us, that have been active, that have been building with ethics in a meaningful way, and being good to people. And so we had a much larger list than just 21, but we wanted to be manageable and reasonable. And we had one of our artists drawing these bespoke one-of-ones for these folks. And it ended up being a lot of work for him. And he's living in Ukraine. And so oftentimes he'd be writing us from a fallout shelter or a bomb shelter because there were drone strikes. And on top of that, translating our messages both ways back and forth, because there was not a full grasp of English as a second language there. And I certainly don't speak Ukrainian. So, really just global. But Paul has just such a unique and dynamic art style. It really just spoke to us. He was the first choice, I think, that we made out of the auditions. And so we finalized the list of 21. And you're right. So it's myself and family, but we've also got Thematic Man, Crypto Manimal, General, Manny from Rec Dogs, Big Nil. We've got Greg from Polygon. We've got Johnny from Magic Eden. EJ from Space Skellies, and you guys can see them all on that pinned post. So we're featuring these people in our lore. They're called the Foundation. They're the people that we speak to when we want to talk about the sort of the pulse, the current attitudes and trajectories of the ecosystem, and any issues that need to be addressed by a collective. And we're friends, so we talk and support each other. And in the lore, these individuals came from a world in another dimension, and their world was, collapsing. And so they navigated through dimensional rifts that may or may not have affected their skin and hair color. Crazy things happen on the margins of dimensions. And so either way, these folks are in our world now. and they're going to clone themselves to regrow their population. And then they are also periods in our lore that will exist throughout the seasons as, people to seek out if you need help. People whose projects show a good example. If you need to look at a project to kind of compare what you're building, to look at these folks and what they've done and how they've done it. We have people like Shaz from Denketsu in there, who's launched on Cardano and has come to Polygon, is running a multi-chain community and pushing out, a missions platform and all of these different things. They have music, they have manga, they have, it's nuts. Some of these people are really killing it. And, and to a lesser extent, we want to make sure that the people who are being successful on Polygon are going to be our friends through this, because, we want to be connected with the people that are going to be here in 5 years, 10 years. This is unseen territory, this new frontier, this technological and social landscape that is really going to help shape the future of commerce, of social engagement, of all of these things. And I think it's important for us to stick together. I think it brings a certain level of permanence when you have forged bonds like these and spread them out. And I think it also has, keeps people motivated to keep going, and also, helps keep people honest. We certainly didn't pick any shady individuals for this group of the foundation, but when you're really deeply connected with a larger community and people know who you are, it's easier to be who you are, and not second guess your choices or your ethics or morals when you're out here. There's always an opportunity to do it wrong, to pump your own stuff, to dump on people, and I saw a lot of that on Solana, and it's certainly not just a Solana thing. That's just where I was when I saw that stuff. No shade to the salamis.
Yeah,
but I think things had just been done the same over and over again already, and we were looking for a new way to structure relationships and networks in a way that would serve the greater good.
Yeah, no, totally. And I like that. But, the question is, right, at the time of this recording, it should be released here in a couple weeks. But when exactly are we going to see the clones? When OG and when? When you more or less, or you can't say just yet?
I've been saying, I was saying Q1, mm-hmm. right? And I've been saying March.
Ooh.
And I'd really like this to drop in March. And I don't know if that's alpha. I think I've said it a bit. Mm-hmm. I can be a little bit of loose lips. I'm working on it. Because I got to save a little bit of unknown for reveals and hype. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're really trying to avoid hype cycles with this, because we don't want it to be over speculated. We want this to be an accessible program.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that we can launch this in maybe the second week of March. It's going to have a whole week of festivities. Like I said, we plan an annual program. And so the week surrounding our launch every year will be Chad Week, where we will feature the builders in the space, have extra events, cross-collab spaces, live videos, and, things of that nature. And then the mint will happen that week. So I really want it to be the second week of March, because my kid's birthday is in the third week of March. And NFT NYC is like the crack beginning of April, and I want to be able to attend. So we're gonna need to mint, and early mid-March is really kind of the vague alpha. I don't know if I could live with myself missing another year of NYC. I think it just feels right. We'll mint out, we'll go victoriously to NYC and, high five and hug all our friends, and I get to thank them in real time for supporting the mint, and, party down.
No, I hope that happens so everybody can kind of hear it. Look, March looks like in a perfect world, that's what's going to happen. So can't wait for that, right? And also too, like Brandalf, as we kind of get into Polygon, right? And we think it's great, right? And I think it's great too. It's where I started this kind of podcast, was everybody's help and everything like that. But the thing that seems to bother me, right, is that it almost seems anybody coming over here almost has to be dragged and like kicking and screaming to come over here. We're at the Utes thing, right? And then nobody was really happy with that, right? And then they left, right? And then we're having this 8-chain thing too, and everybody's just like whining and complaining. Like, when do you think that Polygon is actually going to be like, everyone's going to stop whining whenever they say, hey, we're moving to Polygon, we're doing this, we're doing that? Like, what do you think we have to do, or when do you think that's going to change?
That's an interesting question, because the Utes really dropped the ball entirely on that. From the D Labs leadership team, they didn't do anything. I think he got on bases while they were on Polygon before deciding to move, and I really thought that was a missed opportunity to have a larger effect here on Polygon. But I'm not really... I don't know if we really need to hype the masses to come here to pump and dump a bunch of floors and get extra speculative. Surely we need more volume, but I think more volume is going to come from better projects launching, right? We're going to see a healthy amount of volume from Jonah's game being on Polygon. We got just an absolute smattering of volume from Gas Hero. Coming over from Steppen on Solana and building Gas Hero on Polygon. Just an insane amount of volume. And that's the kind of thing that's going to attract more people. So I can hope that the Clones Mint can become that. I don't want to delusion myself. I don't think that we're the best and the greatest and all of these other things. I think there's a lot more out there than just what we're doing. But I would like to attract more people with the Clones Mint. We've made very good friendships with all these Polygon founders in the last 10, 11 months. And those collabs for, Whitelist and OG, they're going to just be popping out automatically over the next couple of weeks. And all our friends are going to be there, right? In the way that we've been there for them, for their mints and their, releases and drops. So I think we're gonna spend a lot more time in Ethereum and Solana spaces where the good people are. And we've found a lot of those people over the last 6 to 8 months. The people that share the sort of same general wavelength and understanding and approach to the ecosystem of wanting to be helpful and wanting to build stable foundations and projects that aren't going to wash trade their own floors and things of that nature. So we're going to go talk to these people. And that's, the Espresso Shot crowd with Sansa, the Syndicate Network and the Icon groups on Solana, TrustDAO, and, the people that have really stuck it through. And, I think meme coins in one respect have helped everybody dabble in multiple chains. And I think at this point, if there's a good play on any chain, people are going to want to participate. I think we're going to see fewer maxis. And I don't want to shame anybody for being a maxi. Certainly the Solana boys were in the bottom of the gutter after FTX, and they stuck around. They dug themselves out. And that's what I talk about when people are asking about low engagement on Polygon right now. Said this might be a little low, but we didn't have FTX and we still have enthusiasts, and what you see them have, we can have that too. You just got to stick around and double down your convictions and keep building. And so, this is pretty much the full extent of my messaging that I'm going to be bringing to them on these other spaces and these other communities, to come and play, come and have a chance to get your ideas heard. While this is still a really young ecosystem, come help establish the new infrastructure.
No, 100%, Brandalf, and I agree with that too. It's just I get kind of like mad though, because there are some good people here. There's Tony, Buddha, yourself, right? No Future, D Engineer, Van. The list goes on and on and on, right? With so many quality, good people that are building things and doing things too as well. And I just like, when people come over here and just complain like, oh man, because I read the comments, right? When projects are saying like we're going to Polygon, they're like, oh man, like man, this sucks, man. Polygon this, Polygon that. So it is kind of frustrating in that sense though. But and kind of talking about like some of the projects, right? Besides your project too as well, I think Clones are going to do very well. But what other projects are you very excited for in this NFT ecosystem?
Absolutely. Well, certainly the ones that are members of the foundation. I am very supportive and bullish on Drill Club. I recently changed my profile picture. I was a Drill Club FP for a solid 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
And so changing to my custom wizard was a tough choice, but I got to do that. But Space Skellies, I'm very excited for. I think EJ is a fantastic leader he's really supported the people that support him in that community and given them the agency to help build and to show up and participate on the team. And I think that's a vibe that the other projects I like the most share with them. And that really is a big factor that's going to play to their success in the future. But Space Skellies just put out a sneak peek of some redrawn traits that look super clean, super great. Drill Club, obviously, been working with Wolfman from ONFT, and he recently brought Maria from Women of Cosmos onto his team. Those two are very active, very vibrant, very engaged and involved with communities on Polygon and Cosmos. I think Danketsu is very strong in what they have for futures, with very clean anime style art and just a very involved and vibrant community. And, it's projects like this that are still going to be around, Wrecked Gang. A lot of people kept trying to call the Chads the Polygon Alpha group, and it took me a while of saying, look, we're like a resources and access group.
Mm-hmm.
If you want the alpha, you got to go to Wreck Gang, because they got a channel for every chain, and they actually know stuff about these other chains. I don't. I'm very focused. I'm working full time, so I got blinders done. All right, take this chunk of Web3 and I'll focus on just this and get good at it instead of kind of spreading my attention, because I don't have a lot of time. My kids want to play Nintendo. I can't look into all of it. They got to smoke me at Mario Kart. So,
and you're live streaming.
And I'm live streaming once a week, and they want to go to Grandma's house with me when I go there to do it. So yeah, I think there's a lot of promising projects on Polygon. I think there's a lot to learn for many of the projects who have come to try their chances, and I respect that. Anybody who's going to take the chance, no matter how prepared they are, I think that takes a lot of guts. But I think that we have a lot to do in regards to helping the people who want to be here find the growth and resources that they need to grow and thrive. And so, yeah, that's really, it all kind of ties itself together for me with helping people maximize the potential of their own efforts And I think the ones that are more successful now are the ones that are showing up for themselves every day. They're self-motivated. They know what they need to do and when. And I think those are indicators for me that these projects and these founders will be around long term and continue to do so. And, for many of them, like Shaz and EJ, they've already been around for a couple years. People like Crypto Manimal with the Trogs and Big Nil with the Turians.
Oh, yeah.
Very bullish on these projects.
No, 100%. And like I said, Big Nil, Trogs, Ahmed, Crypto Manimal. I mean, the list can go on. Base Buddha with the black market, right? Which, he's going to be doing that full time. I honestly thought it was actually
congrats to him.
Black market, like he's actually going to work at the actual black market, but it's actually Banshee black market. So not the actual real black market. So he's not going to be selling organs or anybody like that. So no, it's definitely great on that. And you kind of spoke on memes, right? And as somebody, kind of like almost an ambassador, like kind of type role, right? You kind of have to kind of like be kind of in the middle, right? But you see these meme coins, right, come out, right? Like Gone, Kulo, right? And, all from the other chains too as well, like Hawk and everything like that. And you kind of see this going on, right? And you're trying to get this mass adoption. You're trying to make this space more legitimate, right? What you're kind of taking when you see all this kind of like going on, like you want to be like, guys, just be curious. Let's put all this money into projects that are actually going to do stuff. Or, you know what? This is actually pretty cool. I actually want to get in on this. So what's Brandalf's takes on meme coin?
I'm a little green with meme coins, and for that matter, not even that good at making memes. But the Gone launch was very exciting. Mm-hmm. Right before Christmas, these guys took that from an idea to living in people's wallets in like 24 hours, which was very impressive. And that opened a lot of eyes, but it also saw a lot of people think that it was all going to be that easy. And, we watched a lot of our friends try and rotate those profits into other things that really really ate it. So I've not really ever been that much of a fan of speculative assets because I don't have the time and attention or the experience to really know what I'm doing there. I can't tell you how many tops I've sold and bottoms. Wait. I sell and buy at the wrong time. Pretty much always. But I think that it has brought eyes. It's brought enthusiasm. Did more people have a good experience than got burned? I don't know. It's a hard metric to track. Certainly seen a lot of honeypot coins. I learned that, these people are really just launching a coin so they can yank the liquidity out of it on the second day. And that can bring a lot of uncertainty too. So I think the good in it is that people are feeling free to play on any chain. They're doing AVAX coins and ETH coins, Sol coins, Polygon coins. And I think that's good. To give people that flexibility that, we've all kind of known was going to be inevitable anyway, right? These chains are all just sort of the bits and pieces behind the interface eventually. But yeah, there's a couple of good teams that are coming out with some new coins that I'm aware of. And those I'll definitely participate in. And like with Gone, I made a couple of posts on the timeline in support. But I can't really get in. I can't dive into it. I'm not going to be hard shilling any of these things.
Brandalf support such and such.
But I support fun and fun that is motivated by good people. Who have other people's best interests in mind as well. So anytime those boxes can be checked, I'll support something. So yeah, if we can get more airdrops to be that successful, I think a lot of people will be thinking twice before they fade Polygon. We're looking at things like the Magic Eden rewards diamonds that will be retroactive and like, hey, maybe we should be farming our volume on these platforms that will have rewards. So there's a couple different layers to it that I'm excited to participate with, and we're also looking forward to, through the ONFT staking platform, to be able to change which points or tokens are exchangeable with our sub communities. And so having that interplay there, I think is really cool. We're seeing projects launch in meme coin, and we're seeing meme coins partner with launch pads and marketplaces, and this is just more connectivity. And I think the more connective tissue we have, the more fleshed out we'll be. That was a really macabre example, but it's all unwritten. None of this is really guaranteed or concrete, and we're, at the end of the day, we're all just speculating on what might work.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I do like the fun aspect of it too. And some of these actually like names, saying them on like interviews and such, and the laughing, and even on Spaces too as well. Fun enough in itself though, right? But kind of like getting back to actually what you were saying earlier, like kind of like caught my attention was, you talk about like Sandeep, Mark, and everything like that. And can you kind of talk about too, like this is actually the first chain I've actually heard people say that they can actually get a hold of like these founders and CEOs like real quick. And can you like, if someone out here is maybe thinking about building on Polygon, like how easy it is to access some of these important figures in the Polygon ecosystem?
Oh, absolutely. And this is huge because it is very easy to get in touch with these folks. But a lot of people aren't aware of who they are or how to get a hold of them. And that's something I've been discussing with these guys to address, to make it easier, to make it actually spelled out. Like, hey, when you join, go here, talk to this guy, look at these projects, join these spaces, get a good start here. And really giving a better orientation, I think, to new joiners. So, like the business development team at Polygon, for example, they have a pipeline for every different kind of project, and there's a way to book a call with them, and that's by just asking. But if you don't know who they are and you don't have open DMs with them, it can be a little tricky. And that's one of the functions I've had in the last year, is helping people set up those calls. Hey, I'm Brandalf. I see you in space. I'm looking for some answers at Polygon. I want to launch a project. Hey, this is great. Let me connect you with Greg, and you can get an intake call, and you can get set up in the pipeline. And so now there's certainly been a lot of raising of the torches the last couple of months. In regards to what is Polygon doing, what is Polygon not doing, and it's like, all right, okay, guys, but they're making moves to be more accessible. We've got a new weekly space Wednesdays with Greg from Polygon BD and Big Nil and myself and some other people, to really just have the people with the answers available for everyone's questions. And I think that's a really great start. Because if you can see the pathway to resources, then you can have an easier time seeing your pathway to success. And I think that can mean the difference between someone deciding to launch on Polygon or heading somewhere else where there is no BD team to help them. So yeah, I've never seen anything like it. We never had anything like that on Solana.
Yeah.
Every now and then the founders of Solana will buy an NFT and maybe tweet it, but the level of actual involvement from Sandeep and Mark and the team is phenomenal. I mean, it's unmatched. And, I cringe a little to see the critique because I think it's a little misguided. I've seen these people be in the trenches for the last year, being very available, very accessible, being very open to booking calls, dropping their Calendly link anytime I ask them to, for somebody they never met before. And that really is the vibe on Polygon. They are using every last ounce of resources they have to give back to the people that are looking for help and attention. And then, what I'm doing with the Clones NFT and the Chads project resources is really kind of geared towards the same thing. Help people maximize their success and build stronger networks. And I think it's working. I'm looking forward to launching on Polygon on Magic Eden in March, and hopefully attracting some more attention.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because guys, as basically 2 or 3 years ago, to even get a CEO or to get even a project founder on a space or even an interview, you had to move heaven and earth. So when I came here and I saw all you guys together and doing all these things, it was very weird to me because it was good luck, because you'd maybe get an AMA every 6 months or so, right? So it was just very weird, and just people need to know how special this kind of is, right? I've actually, Mark the other day being in that chat, answering questions, going on spaces and doing all those things is just, to me, it's still a little weird. I'm not really used to it, right? So it's just on ETH or Solana, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but I haven't seen it, right? It's just very different. They don't. He's a busy man, and especially talking to us idiots. You know what I mean? It's just like I said, it's very weird. People need to realize that that's pretty special to have them actually out here doing those things.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm so excited to build on this chain. Sandeep was one of the first people I talked to on Polygon, which is nuts to think. I don't think a lot of Ethereum people talk to Vitalik. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen. So, on Bitcoin, they don't even know who Satoshi is. But Correct. We have Sandeep. And, he's a human being who's building a multinational, blockchain company, a movement, a lifestyle, a new technology, really. And is he always going to do the things that the degens on the timeline think are the best idea? No, dude. He's a freaking billionaire. Are you kidding me? Go microwave another pizza pocket. He's busy, but he does take the time to show up and see us and talk to us and understand a little bit of what we're doing. And he's excited about it. They didn't have an NFT forward-facing program. But Sandeep came to see that the NFT community really does help form a stable foundation for other infrastructure. It provides community. It provides the people to be there to use the tech, to exist on the infrastructure. And I agree with that. It's very important. Even PFPs that don't have a functional purpose beyond a membership badge, they matter. And so it's really cool to see him share that perspective, and to see him come out and, for example, join Crypto Crew's Circle of Hero chat to come and talk to Tony and the community and answer questions from individuals like you and me. And so I think it's great. I think that he's really showing a unique level of leadership. Ryan Wyatt was the CEO before Mark Boiron. He did a fantastic job. Mark has been very vocal, very public, and very supportive. And not just with the high-level Polygon game and the ag layer and the Web2 partnerships, but also with NFT project founders. He's wearing a Banshee PFP now, and he talks to project founders to get a feel for their sentiment and their status and where they're at. And that's just fantastic. The founders of the blockchain and the CEO care, and they take the time of their day to show that. So when people come out with their, ill-begotten FUD about what Polygon is or isn't doing, I'm just like, come on, man, you don't even know what you're talking about. Like, go take a bath, because these guys are out here and they're advocating for us and we're advocating for them, and that's how you grow.
No, yeah, 100%, Randolph. And it was just, yeah, it's just like I said, it's still a little weird, like to see like Mark and Chad and everything like that. So yeah, no, definitely. And kind of like Brandalf, we're in this kind of NFT ecosystem, right? But what other sectors of Polygon are you most excited about in this upcoming bull run that's going to be coming? Do you think that's, it's like DeFi, RWAs, gaming? Like, what other sectors are you bullish on Polygon?
Sure. I think that Polygon ID could be pretty big. And this is, a sort of identification app where you can sign up and collect your sort of personal details. And it has to do with zero knowledge proofs, proving that you are who you are in a transaction without having to, lend over your social security number to whatever you're applying for, something of that nature. The RWAs. I saw Reese posted earlier, somebody sold a watch for like 45 grand using a tokenized asset for the transaction. Like the courtyard packs. I have FOMO pretty bad on that because I missed those $10 packs and I was watching Twan and No Futuristic bust them open. Oh man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
To not be able to just buy the digital asset and exchange it for the real one from their warehouse, but also to take your graded cards and send them in and have them digitized so you don't have to store them in your house where you could have a flood or a fire and lose them entirely. I think that's really cool. But then gaming, dude. I mean, look, before Web3, I played a lot of cell phone games, right? This is our modern, like, okay, I had the Game Boy, right? Mm-hmm. I'd be at work, as a chef in between dinner service or whatever, just like, oh, I'm going to play this little stupid game and get some little points that mean nothing. And now we're playing games that have real points, that are real tokens, that have real financial value, create real transactions. And we're seeing that come into more light, oh God, I can't tell you how many projects claimed they were going to build a game. But now we're seeing the people who can actually build games, build the games. And they're so cool. I need to get a gaming computer because I just have I've got like a Surface, and a Chromebook. I've got the tablet and word processor. I don't have a gaming computer. So I'm really looking forward to the games you can play on mobile. Actually, I think you can play Gas Hero on mobile. I don't remember. Sorry, James. I forgot.
I believe you can.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these things on mobile. Yeah. And I mean, like where I'm at out here, like this is why I get disconnected from Twitter Spaces all the time, because there's just horrible reception. So connectivity and CPU power, that's what I need. But I think the gaming is really promising. I think it's super cool that Jonah's building his game and his NFT project on Polygon. I've got a call with him Wednesday to talk about his game and his project and what he plans to do on Polygon, and how we can support that effort. And that's really the name of the game. I don't know much about DeFi, but Aztec is very busy with lots of things, and QuickSwap has been getting a lot of attention as well from the meme coin boom. And I think there's a lot of infra projects and new wallets, new functionalities, new new things to do that people are developing that are going to be the next Apple, Amazon, Boeing, of the future. And that's what gets me really excited. Like, shoot, which one of these things, is it gonna be Basie? I don't know. I hope not. They're weird. I don't like their apes. Maybe we can get maybe Pudgies will take over. They're cuter and less weird. I don't know. The whole mutants thing. I don't really. The melty faces and the snot. It's cool. It's okay.
Actually, I think I'm
just jealous I never got one.
I think I'm gonna get a drill Joker and rock that for a couple months though too as well. Just because, like I said, I want to support Sally and everything that they're doing over there too. And Drill Club, of course, is it's really huge. Like on Polygon, I think Drill Club, Pluto, all those projects can do like really really well. And kind of like Brandalf, as you kind of like see. As we're gonna go into the halving, right? Things are gonna start to kind of like look a lot better and everything like that. Like, do you honestly think that this ecosystem is actually gonna thrive in this kind of next bull run, or like, what's your kind of prediction coming up here and when we experience this next bull run after the halving?
Oh, I think so. I think we have a lot of dedicated and passionate people on Polygon who are gonna help keep it visible. And that, when a period of more mass bullishness comes, it's an attention economy, right? People are going to go on Twitter to figure it out, and they're going to explore the posts that they come across and the ones that they see co-signed by people they have come to know as authentic voices. And so what I look around and see around me everywhere in Polygon, advocates with authentic voices who are getting exposure. And I think those three things are going to play a huge factor when there are, hundreds of thousands of more people looking to satisfy that FOMO that NFTs are back, or, I missed it and I'm late. I got to get in now. And we'll help you enter that on Polygon without, dumping some scam on you or giving you a drainer link. I think that really is going to take a huge position at the center of things as more and more people get involved, is that the builders on Polygon are super authentic. And they're not going to do you wrong when you ask for, where you should be going. Come over here, join us. We are good, nice people who are not going to give you drainer links. And I think that goes a long way. It was so busy everywhere in the fall of 2021.
Yeah.
You couldn't DM somebody.
No way.
And so I think, if we return to that level of activity, you're going to need a referral. Who do I talk to find a good dev? Who do I talk to find a good artist? How do I get in touch with the team at Polygon? And so if people think it's hard now,
wait,
you're going to have another thing coming when there's, and will it be the same as it was in 2021? Who knows? We can't guess. We can guess, but shoot, it's a coin toss at this point. Mm-hmm. But I think that it can only go up, and I think that because of the very real use case for this technology, and the RWAs and the gaming and the real applications, and in the way that NFT projects form the base of the community for the rest of these things. So I think it's inevitable.
Definitely, Polygon is inevitable. And Brandon, I do appreciate you kind of coming on and giving your time. I could be here. I have so many questions, but I know you're pressed for time too as well. But I do want to ask you this though. In a perfect world, right? As long as this world doesn't end or we don't have nuclear strike or everything like that. But where would you guys want to be by the end of the year?
Oh, by the end of the year, I'd like to be guiding our sub-community leaders into their end games. By the end of the year, I want to see them have a good plan to take what they've built and turn it into a distinct and separate project that they can run and lead on their own. And I'd like to see myself participating in more ecosystem level support programs. The last year for me has been insane. I came to Polygon a nobody with a wizard emoji PFP. It wasn't even an NFT. Pardon me. And now I'm hosting spaces with the reps from Polygon and Magic Eden. And, they're close personal friends of mine now. And this would have been inconceivable at this time last year. So, by the end of this year, goodness, who knows? I'm certainly after full-time work in this industry, in the blockchain, NFT forward, maybe gaming, maybe RWAs, as a strategist and a visionary. I think that would be a really great job. That's something I'm looking forward to doing. Really kind of lay the groundwork to belong there and have something to do when I get to that level. And hopefully, through the course of this Clones program, we can find some other people who share the same spirit and motivation as people like myself and family, who can take the reins and, become what I am doing now than they do. And they help the next generation of people to become this as well. And I think that kind of scalable growth with, mentorship and passing the baton is a great way to help an emerging landscape where it is almost impossible to have an applicable resume. And I think that's what I'm dedicated to building. That's what I'm hoping for. That as I grow, I bring other people up, fill my shoes where I was before, and vice versa. And that's my goal.
No, 100%. And I really do hope see that go. Same. Hopefully I'm going to be here too as well, and everything like that. But I can't wait to see how this ecosystem grows. And Brandalf, I do appreciate your time. But before you go, is there anybody else you want to shout out? Any community members you want to shout out, or anything else you want to say before you go?
I stopped trying to name names a long time ago because there's so many good friends. But I'll give a couple shout outs. I gotta shout out Sanguini, who's been a good friend and a mainstay in the ecosystem. People like Fun Girl and Twan, Ken and KD, the power couples on Polygon. These are the people whose participation and enthusiasm helps juice me up every day. When I come out and do my morning hellos and GMs, and it's, the friends that we've made along the way that have really made this journey worth it. So to all of my friends, even the ones I didn't name, thank you for being here for me. I hope that I can be here for you.
Brad, no, I do appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. And guys, this is going to wrap our show. If you like content like this, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow me on X. Definitely follow Brandalf on X too. Check out the Pulse. And I'll see you guys around on the next one. Take care.